Test, test. Test, test. Can you guys hear me or am I just speaking regular? Okay, cool. Well, welcome to Yoga Relax. Good morning. You guys could just keep your masks on until we get class started. I would really appreciate that. Otherwise, this is Yoga Relax. So take this time here to really get yourself settled in on your mat, slow down, maybe stretch a little bit. We'll get started in about 7 minutes. And I think everyone has 2 blocks, so good to go. Are you going to be staying in there?
on. Hello. Test, test. Oh, hello. Well, that no, I don't think that was why it was making that noise, but now it's hello.
Hopefully it doesn't do that again. If it does, since we're live streaming, I should still like turn it off, right? Just so it's not. Yeah. Test, test. Okay, cool. Yay. Good morning, guys. Here's some blocks. And what are your names? Tatum. What was it? Madison F. All right, guys, we're going to get started in just about a minute. Go ahead and get settled in. If anyone has questions or concerns in the next minute or so, flag me over. There's like a bunch of other people, but like with a live stream, that's it. They're coming in last minute. Oh, they're allowed to vote. Okay, yeah, that's what I usually do. Cool. All right, good morning, everyone. It's just about 9 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Anna. Welcome to Yoga Relax. If this is your first time, this is going to be a 45-minute vinyasa style class, but it's going to be a lot slower pace so that you guys can work a lot deeper into your muscles and get a nice stretch and a nice slow flow. So we're going to start on our mats today in Sukhasana, or seated position, so our legs are crossed. Knees fall wide, and try and find a little bit of length here through your spine. Get comfortable, press your shoulders down and away from your ears. Close your eyes. Start to move into your body, into your breath. Just so you guys know, we're starting a program here with Group X that's going to allow us to live stream our classes from home. So we're in the beginnings of this process, but this class will be live streamed just from the front. If you guys have questions about this at all, you can come talk to me after class. So just working into your breath here, noticing how it feels as you come onto your mat this morning. See if you can create a nice and lengthened inhale and an even deeper exhale. As you exhale, your breath travels down the length of your spine and you completely empty out your belly and your lungs as you breathe out. I want you to take a moment here, keeping your eyes closed, staying seated on your mat, to just come to an intention for your practice this morning. My intention will be to challenge myself to move slowly in the slow flow. It's very appropriate for this class. A lot of times it's harder for us to slow down than it is for us to move quickly. So just taking the time to stop and be mindful of what I'm doing here and now on my mat. But make your intention for you and your practice for you. When you're ready, gently blink open your eyes, find a soft gaze at the front of the room. Exhale that chin down towards the chest. Feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Just start to roll the left ear towards the left shoulder. Come back through center and take the right ear to the right shoulder. Keep up this motion, stretching out the back of the neck and the sides of the neck. Maybe closing your eyes again if it feels good. And then go ahead and make big circles in one direction. And switch directions. And coming to stillness with the neck in line with the spine, finding length again here through the back of the neck by taking that chin just a centimeter closer to the body. Take your arms wide alongside the body, reaching overhead. And exhale the hands through heart center, stopping here at Anjali Mudra. One more inhale here to reach high overhead. As you exhale, take the right fingertips to the side of your mat. Reach up and over with the left arm. So we're finding a side body stretch on the left side. Maybe you start to bend into that right elbow, reaching up with those fingertips. As you inhale, come back through center. Start to twist to the left. Take the left fingertips behind you, the right fingertips onto the left knee. Lift through that chest, lengthen the spine. Use your exhale to twist a little bit further. Simple seated twist. Take that gaze over the left shoulder. As you inhale, come back through center, hands at heart center. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale the left fingertips onto the side of the mat. Reach up and over with the right arm. Maybe you start to bend into that left elbow. Glue that right hip into your mat and reach with the right fingertips. As you inhale, reach back overhead. Start to twist to the right now. Left fingertips come to the outside of the knee. Right hand plants behind you. Gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, lengthening through that spine. Exhale, twist a little bit further. Use that extra space in the belly and the abdomen to twist. On your next inhale, come back through center. Reach overhead. Exhale, take the hands onto the knees. We're just going to make big circles here with the chest rolling forward. Exhale, rolling back in one direction. So as you move forward, open up the chest to the front of the room. As you move backwards, kind of round the spine like we do in cat-cow. Just warming up our upper body, mobilizing our shoulders, and switch directions. So really exaggerating that curve of the back on the back and that opening of the chest as you move forward. Once you feel like you're nice and even with these circles, come to center, shoulders over the hips. Take the fingertips in front of the lap and slowly start to walk them forward, coming into a gentle forward fold, staying here, maybe dropping the forearms onto the mat, relaxing the head and the neck. Really try and glue those hips down on your mat to feel that stretch in the hips. Good. On your next inhale, use those fingertips, walk yourself back up to seated. And I want you to switch your legs so that the leg that is in back comes to the front. Notice how this might feel a little bit funky. Just settle into that. Take the fingertips in front of you. Slowly start to fold forward. So the reason we switch our legs there is we often subconsciously choose we're favorable to certain parts of our body throughout the day as we maybe sleep, as we sit down at our desk, as we just walk. So it's important to take notice of those small habits that we have that might be asymmetrical, trying to even them out through our yoga practice. Reach those fingertips just a couple more inches forward. Really reach that chest towards the legs. And on your next inhale, slowly walk the fingertips back towards you. We're going to roll over the knees, coming into a tabletop position on your mat. Flat back here. And as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbones, and start to open up the front of the body. Slight bend in the elbows, making sure not to lock out the arms. As you exhale, start to round the spine towards the ceiling. Opening up the space between the shoulder blades on your back. Chin starts to move towards the chest. Next inhale takes you back to your cow. Belly drops, tailbone lifts, chest opens to the front of the room. Good. Exhale, rounding the spine again. Take some cat-cows to yourself, moving at your own breath's pace. Try and focus on really exaggerating that movement between your shoulders as you flow in and out of this. Drawing the shoulder blades together on the back as you come into your cow. And creating extra space between them, rounding the spine as you come into your cat. On your next exhale, meet me back in a neutral spine. We're gonna kick that right leg back on our mat and twist the foot down so the inside of the foot is in contact with the mat, pressing the foot down, finding a nice steady balance here so that you can lift the right hand, taking it onto the hip, challenging your balance a little bit. Good. Use that left hand to keep you steady and that right hand planted into the mat. If you feel good here, maybe that right arm reaches up and overhead to the front of the room. Again, this is more of a full right side body stretch. So we took a little bit of a side stretch in our seated position. Now we're stretching all the way from our heel to our fingertips. Reach 1 inch further. And then exhale to plant the hand back onto your mat. Rotate onto the toes of the back foot and then start to rock back into that heel. So we're stretching out the hamstring, the calf. Good. Take the right knee back onto your mat into your tabletop position. Inhale to your cow. Exhale, taking a cat. Meet me back in a neutral spine. Kick that left leg back on your mat. Rotate onto the foot. And then take that left hand onto the hip slowly, challenging your balance here in the beginning of practice. Maybe if it feels good, you lift the left fingertips towards the front of the room, reaching that left hip up to stretch the left side body. Good. Next exhale, you plant the left hand back down onto your mat, rotate onto the toes, and then rock back into the heel, waking up the back of the left leg. Now coming to stillness, I want you to kick the right leg back. So we're coming into a high plank just for a moment. Start to press with the palms the mat in front of you and away from you. So you're bending into the knees, and then start to straighten the legs to lift the hips high towards the sky and come into your down dog. So it's okay if your legs aren't completely straight here. The key in our down dog is that we keep the length in the spine from the crown of the head to the hips. So really extend through those fingertips. Biceps frame the ears, and then the heels start to press down towards your mat. Next inhale, you lift the right leg high, dog split. Foot is flexed, heel lifts. Exhale, plant the foot back down onto your mat. Inhale to lift the left leg, dog split. Exhale, drop that foot back onto your mat. Take both feet as wide as your mat. So we're in a wide-legged downward dog. Gives us a little bit more support and balance, a little bit more space to press the chest closer to the toes in space. As you inhale, lift the heels up off of your mat, and exhale both of them over to the left. Inhale, come back onto the toes, heels come through center. Exhale, take them over to the right. Good, inhale, coming back high. On those toes, exhale to the left. Inhale it up. Exhale, take it over to the right. And come back through center. Take the feet back hip width distance, about 2 fist width, and then press the heels back towards your mat, finding your fullest expression of down dog. On your exhale, roll forward onto those knees, coming back to your tabletop position. Take a cat-cow. Meeting me back in a neutral spine. Pick up the right wrist and just shake it out. Maybe make big circles. If you're ever feeling pain in your wrist during your practice, you have the option to come into a dolphin rather than a down dog. So that's on the forearms here. Or you have the option to come onto your fists if we're in poses like tabletop. So pick up the left wrist, roll it out, shake it out, whatever feels good. Throughout your practice, feel free to do this if you're feeling pain. And come back into your down dog whenever you're ready. On your next inhale, right leg lifts again, dog split. Leg is straight, heel lifts towards the ceiling. As you exhale, roll forward through a high plank, tuck that knee into the chest, plant the foot to the top of your mat between the hands, wiggle the foot forward so the heel is underneath or in front of the knee. On your exhale, drop that back knee and untuck the toes. Inhale up, reaching the arms behind you, palms face one another. So we're opening up our chest here as well as our hip flexor. See if you can imagine yourself squeezing a beach ball behind you, lifting those shoulders and opening up the chest. Breathe into it. On your inhale, palms open up, reach overhead, interlace the fingers and press the palms towards the ceiling, maybe leaning back a little bit more. As you exhale, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes and lift that knee off of your mat. Start to walk the fingertips forward on your mat, about 6 inches in front of the right foot, and then kick that left leg back. You can hop it up until you're able to lift it up off of the ground into your standing split. So just trying to lift that left leg high here, no matter how high it's lifted, as long as you're reaching that torso closer towards the standing leg. Maybe those hands walk closer to the right foot to take you there. Good, lift that left leg 1 inch higher. And then plant it down to meet your right foot on your mat. Find a forward fold. Take the feet as wide as your mat again. Bend deeply into the knees. And then grab a hold of opposite elbow for Ragdoll. Let go of the upper body. Let the head and neck fall heavy. Maybe you sway Left and right, bending into one knee at a time. Maybe you nod the head yes and shake the head no. When you're ready, release those arms back towards your mat, heel to the feet, back underneath the hips. And inhale to lift halfway to find a flat back. While you're here, your palms can be on the shins. Your fingertips can be on the ground in front of you. Or you can have two blocks that you rest your palms on. Totally up to you, whatever feels best. On your exhale, fold again into your forward fold. On your inhale, arms go wide, reaching high all the way up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, take your hands back to heart center, close your eyes. Come back to your breath and your intention right here. Notice how you feel. Gently blink your eyes back open. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, go wide for a swan dive forward. Plant the hands into the mat and step back to your down dog. Next inhale, you lift the left leg high, dog split. Exhale, plant the right or the left foot to the top of your mat between the hands. Walk the foot forward here, just wiggling the toes so that the knee is in line with the ankle. Drop the back knee and untuck the toes. Inhale up so that the palms are moving towards one another on your back. Make sure that your shoulders aren't scrunching up towards the ears here, but pressing down and together on the back. Really squeeze that beach ball between the hands here. And then rotate the palms open. Inhale, reaching high. Interlace the fingertips. Press the palms towards the ceiling. Open up that chest, that right hip flexor. Next, exhale, you frame the left foot. Walk those fingertips forward about 6 inches in front of the leg. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and then start to hop up so that you can lift the right leg high into your standing split. You should feel this stretch in the back of the left leg. Try and, again, like in Ragdoll, just let your upper body hang heavy here. It'll really help you to lift that right leg. Try and flex the toes and lift the heel 1 inch higher. Maybe you start to walk the hands close to the left foot. Maybe you even take one hand to the ankle. Next, exhale, plant the right foot down to meet the left in your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, hands onto the shins, onto the blocks or fingertips, onto the ground. Exhale, lower down, forward folds. Inhale, arms go wide, all the way up to standing. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, plant the hands into the mat and step back to your down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, dog split. Exhale, plant the foot between the hands. Again, make sure you're wiggling that foot forward if you need to find the alignment. Rotate the left foot down on your mat and inhale up to a warrior two. Right toes face forward, left toes face the mirror wall. Bend into the right knee. And then I want you to take the hands to the low back, clasping the fingers and the palms together to open up the chest here. So elbows, try and work towards one another. Try and really have a firm grip with the palms. On your exhale, start to straighten into the right knee and then fold forward at the hips, just hinging here to invite the right shoulder closer to the right knee. Open up the arms here, find a triangle. So right hand comes onto the right leg. Option to take a block to the inside of the right leg, the left arm high. If you're feeling pain in the low back, take that hand a little bit higher on your leg. I want you to imagine two waterfalls, one in front of you and one behind you. You're trying not to get wet, so you're in one plane. On your exhale, bend into the front knee and frame the front with your hands. Step back to your down dog. Optional vinyasa here if you'd like to take it. Inhale, roll forward through a high plank. Exhale to drop the knees onto your mat. Elbows move back towards the back side of the room, bending to drop the belly, the hips, untuck the toes on your mat. Inhale, press through the palms, lift the chest. Exhale, lower back down onto the mat. Tuck the toes, move through a tabletop or press through a high plank to find your down dog. Hips are lifted. Next inhale, lift the left leg now to a dog split. As you exhale, roll forward, plant the left foot between the hands. And rotate that right foot down on your mat, setting up for warrior two. Inhale it up. Arms reach and extend. And then interlace the hands on the low back. Start to open up the chest. As you exhale, straighten into that left knee. Start to hinge forward so the shoulder of the left shoulder comes towards the knee. And then open up those arms to your triangle. Again, you can take that block to the inside of the left foot. And if you're starting to hinge forward, then I want you to take the hand higher on that left leg. Maybe that gaze looks up towards the right palm. Breathe into your triangle. Notice all of the triangles that you're making with your body right now. Next, exhale, you bend into the left knee, frame the foot, and step back to your down dog. Take the knees as wide as your mat. Big toes are touching. Take a child's pose. So hips sink back towards the heels. Start to breathe into the back body here. Close the eyes. Maybe as you rest the forehead on your mat, you just roll on it to massage the head. When you're ready, tuck those toes, lift the hips back into your down dog. Next, inhale, lifts the right leg to a dog split. Exhale, plant the foot between the hands on your mat. Rotate the left foot down. Inhale up to your warrior two. Interlace those hands on the back. Open up the chest. And then exhale, straighten into the knee. Start to come into your triangle pose. Open up the arms. Option to take that left arm to the low back to really open up that left rib cage towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, come back through your warrior two. So bend into that front knee. Flip the front palm and exhale, reverse your warrior. Come back through center. Frame the front foot. Walk the fingertips forward. Again, setting up for a standing split. So hop that left foot up towards the ceiling. Again, maybe you walk those hands towards the standing leg. Maybe one or two hands come to the ankle for a balance challenge. Exhale that left foot back down onto your mat. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, lower down, forward fold. Inhale, slight bend in the knees, arms go wide all the way up to standing. Exhale, arms go wide, swan dive down. This time we're going to take the two peace fingers, the pointer fingers and the middle fingers around the big toes from the inside to the out. So bend into the knees as much as you need to hold on to those toes and then start to fold that torso closer towards the legs. If this feels good, you want more of a stretch in the backs of the legs. Start to straighten into those knees. So we have our yogi toe lock here as a lever to intensify the stretch a little bit. Release the fingertips. or the fingers from the toes. Inhale to lift halfway, reset the spine. Exhale, plant the hands into the mat, step back to your down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, dog split. Exhale, plant the foot between the hands. Rotate that back foot down. Inhale up to your warrior two. Interlace the hands behind you on the low back. Open up the chest. Draw the shoulder blades and elbows together. Start to straighten into that left knee. Left elbow comes towards that leg. Open up the arms. Find your triangle. Bending back into the left knee. Come through your warrior two. Flip the front palm and exhale to reverse. Reaching up and back with the left hand. Exhale, frame the front foot. Walk the fingertips forward and hop so that you can lift that right leg high. Find your standing split. Challenge yourself. See if you can start to walk those fingertips closer to the left foot. Lift the right heel. Start to invite the nose towards the left knee so that your head is falling heavy. Next exhale, right foot plants down onto your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms go wide, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive back down to your forward fold. This time we're going to progress from our yogi toe lock forward fold, and we're going to take the palms to face up underneath the feet. So again, bend those knees as much as you need. We're taking our palms underneath both feet so that the toes reach the wrists, and then start to straighten into those legs. It's okay if you don't straighten all the way here. If this feels good, maybe you start to pull those elbows to the sides of the room. Maybe you massage the wrists with the feet. As you exhale, release the hands from underneath the feet. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, resetting here. Exhale, plant the hands back into the mat, step back to your down dog. As you inhale, the right leg comes high again, dog split. As you exhale, bend into that knee and stack the right hip on top of the left. So we're opening up the hips. Option to flip your dog, taking wild thing by taking that right foot onto the mat, lifting the hips and reaching the right fingertips forward. Otherwise, you're staying with that right leg open, the hips rotating here. If you took wild thing, come back to your dog split. Next exhale, we're coming to pigeon pose. So take the right knee towards the right wrist and that ankle towards the left wrist at the top of your mat. Start to wiggle the left toes back. And then if you find yourself rocking onto your right side here, I want you to take a block underneath the right hip. So that will help you from rotating onto your side. When you're ready, you can use your exhale to slowly take you down onto the forearms, maybe onto the belly as you extend those arms in front of you. Let the head relax, close the eyes, really sink into your pigeon. So one way that slow flow or yoga relax can be harder than a power yoga or traditional vinyasa yoga practice is that we hold postures that are a little bit more intense for more time, which allows us to really challenge our minds, to be patient, our bodies to sink into postures that we're not really used to. But change and growth happens when we really challenge ourselves in positions like these, like pigeon, that it's an intense hip opener. Take this time to really work back into your breath. Maybe you try sending your breath to a certain part of your body, maybe that right hip. as each muscle loosens up. When you're ready, slowly walk those hands back onto the palms. Take that block out from underneath you if you took it. Come onto the back toes and lift the knee, and then find your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high for dog split. Exhale to bend into the knee and rotate the left hip on top of the right. Option to take wild thing or flip your dog. If you did on the other side, lifting the hips, reaching the left fingertips forward. Gaze follows that hand. Otherwise, you're staying with your hips rotating open. Next exhale takes you back to your dog split. Inhale here to lift that heel, and then exhale coming to pigeon on the left side. So setting up that leg in line with the top of your mat, wiggling those back toes back on your mat, taking that block if you need it on the left. And then start to come onto the forearms, maybe onto the belly as you reach those hands forward. Again, really slowing down here, surrendering into this deep hip opener. Closing the eyes, letting go of the tension in the muscles. So notice, is your jaw relaxed? Are your eyelids relaxed? Your tongue relaxed off of the roof of your mouth. Check in with your fingertips, your toes. On your next inhale, walk those fingertips back towards your body. Come onto the palms of the hands. Take that block out if you took it. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and find your down dog. One last optional vinyasa here, rolling forward through a high plank. Exhale, dropping the knees, slowly bending at the elbows, coming onto the belly. Untucking the toes, pressing the hips into the mat. Inhaling, pressing up through your cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press through your tabletop and come into a kneeling position on your mat. Good. So our shoulders are over our hips are over our knees. We're going to take one camel pose here. So as a chest opener. So keeping our hips pressing forward, hands come to the low back. Exhale to press the hips forward, opening up the chest. Staying here, maybe tucking the toes and reaching for those heels. Make sure that those hips stay moving forward, that chest stays opening here. Breathe into the front body. And then on your next exhale, take the hands onto the low back, being careful with your back here, slowly coming out with control. Untuck the toes. And then sink the hips back towards the heels. We're going to take rabbit, which is going to reverse that chest opening that we just took. So here we're going to place our head as close to our knees as we can get them. Hands come onto the heels. And then start to lift the hips so that we're rounding into the spine, opening up the shoulders. So you shouldn't be putting too much pressure in the neck here, but you should be right on the top of your head to really stretch out that back body. Lifting up those hips. Good. Exhale, bring the hips back down towards the heels. Start to roll up and then rotate the legs out in front of you. Making our way onto our backs here. Hands come behind the thighs. Use your exhale, your core control to lower you down onto your mat. Shoulders release, head releases. Hug the knees into the chest. Make some big circles with the knees in one direction. Massage the back into the ground. And then switch directions. This is your opportunity to make any other intuitive movements that you feel like you need before Shavasana. So make any movements that you need to meet your intention that you set earlier in your practice. Otherwise, release the legs long on your mat. Let the feet fall open, arms go wide with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Take up space here. Feel the ground lift you up from underneath you, and just take this time to really reap all the benefits that your practice has to offer by letting go. Release the jaw, the forehead, the eyelids, the fingertips, and the toes. Bring your awareness back to your breath while keeping your eyes closed and your body still on your mat. I want your next inhale to be your biggest breath of the morning so far. Inhale to stretch your lungs, your belly, your rib cage in all directions. And exhale to release it. Every bit of air from your body, from your lungs, and from your belly. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just bringing some small movements back into your body. Maybe rocking the head left and right to massage the back of the head into the ground. Maybe you roll out the wrists and the ankles. And eventually plant the feet into your mat, bending at the knees. Feeling the length of your spine press into the ground. Before you roll over to your right side, resting the head on the bicep, keeping the eyes closed. Taking a moment here to thank yourself for spending the last 45 minutes dedicated to your intention and to your practice on your mat. Getting to know the elements of your breath, your mind, and your body, and uniting them through the practice of yoga. Challenging yourself to move slowly today. Using your left palm, gently press yourself back up to Sukhasana, right where we started our practice today. Hands can rest in fists in the lap or maybe on the knees. Eyes are at a soft gaze or closed on your mat. Take a moment to notice how you feel, taking the effects of your practice. We'll end taking our hands to heart center. This is Anjali Mudra or Heart Seal, ending with the word that means the light in me honors the light within each and every one of you. Bowing our heads forward, we say namaste. Thank you guys all for coming in for your practice today. That concludes our yoga relax this morning. So if you could just put your masks back on before leaving your mats. And we have rags and towels in the back of the room, as well as wipes in the silver cylinders. Again, my name is Anna. I teach on Mondays at 9 a.m. every morning for yoga relax, and Tuesdays I teach a power yoga